Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, we gonna go and do the snap thing, y'all. We gonna do the remix. So I just need y'all to know you gotta have some power.
Американская фирма Transceptor Technology приступила к производству компьютеров «Персональный спутник».
Wait, hold on. Y'all need to hear this the correct way. I know this brings back some memories. Front to back in this thing called rap. Bring the treble. I used to know this song. I'm the lyrical Jesse James. And it just brings back so many memories. Ladies and gentlemen, Snap. And what Snap is talking about is that you need to have a little bit of power. So I have solar. It ain't talking about that kind of power, homie. It's getting kind of heavy. It's getting kind of heavy, y'all. I got to turn that volume down because it'll be distracting. And we can't have that type of distraction. Because you know why? Because when you have that type of... Whoa! I messed up, y'all. Oh, snap. Come on now. I messed up. I apologize. That was me. I apologize to y'all. And because I was distracted, I was looking up pump up the volume, man. I was looking at pump up the volume, and so we're not gonna play this whole song, ladies and gentlemen. This thing is a remix. It's 8 minutes and 15 seconds long. I'm not gonna do that to y'all. I'll download that for myself later. Ladies and gentlemen, I've already done this video, but what happens is the system. The system. What system? The system that controls YouTube. And the AI system. That's the one I told y'all keep with me. Yeah, that system. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that system keep with me, and it needs to get slapped because I've got the power to slap it. Okay, let me. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to move this right here. So we're gonna bring it up just a little bit. But, ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing the whole screen. You're seeing everything down here, everything up here. You're seeing the whole screen. I just did a video, 35 minutes, and this was showing 0 and 0. That means you wouldn't be able to see anything on the screen. That shouldn't have happened. It was a subject matter. Now you'll see in a minute why it would do that. Because it was showing full screen because I just did a video earlier. So it was showing the full screen, but all of a sudden I do a video on this subject and all of a sudden the screen changes. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord, please have mercy. Oh, Lord. Okay. I don't know why, but I've got the power. So I restarted the program, and there you go, the full screen. Lord have mercy. Oh no, you're not seeing all the way down here. You can't see my the windows that I have open down here, like this stuff right here. You can't see that. Okay, because I got the marker showing the bottom of the screen, so it's only covering the inside. The inside, like the intestines, and the intestines, the contestants. Ladies and gentlemen, just so that you guys know, this is the redress channel. From this point forward, the redress channel will focus on redress. Redress? Redress. Why redress? Because once you understand what the word redress means, then you'll get it. Redress means to correct the wrongs. You sure? I'm positive. Oh, I thought you were redress. Well, I'm both. So you're surely positively redress. Exactly. Oh, that sounds perfect. No, redress is perfect. That just sounds. You are so corny. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about this in a second. Got to go back. And we're going to stop at redress means, because redress means to correct the wrongs. And then we're going to expand it. Redress means to correct the wrongs, often making compensation reparations for an unfair, unjust, and an imbalance. Correct that, please. Redress in American law. Redress in American English. Redress, period. To set right, to correct. To rectify, to correct. Or remedy, to correct. Often by making compensation. Oh, better compensate me. You took my property for a wrong or a grievance. So, this channel will be dealing with individuals' rights and what they have the right to do. This won't be dealing with individuals insisting on their rights or what is it that people do often? They parrot what they've heard someone else say. We are not parrots here. I will show you what the law says. I will not tell you what I think. If it's my opinion, I will say that's my opinion. Okay? Why this particular angle from now on? Well, redress means to correct the wrong. So usually people are wrong and they have secured rights for which to rely on. So that's a legal matter, that's a court matter. Redress is going to deal with that. Whereas on the Eon channel, redress is going to deal with everything else, everything else, everything else. You sure? Everything else. Okay? So that's just so that you guys know. Got a lot of information we need to talk about today. We can't talk about everything because I talk about everything. But we are going to talk about redress. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to do a scenario. You're going to do a scenario? What's the scenario? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do traffic court today. Traffic court? What's traffic court? Well, it's where two drug dealers are engaged in a trade and the police come and say, no, you can't do that no more. That's traffic court? Yes, because the trading that's going on is people are in their vehicles and they are navigating through what they refer to commerce. And every time they engage with another person, they are trafficking. Wow. So when you're on the road, you're never alone because you're making and arranging and agreeing with others. So you are engaged in commerce. You are operating in commerce. Thus, you're operating a motor vehicle while in commerce or while in traffic. You are not allowed to traffic without a license. I can't traffic without a license? You cannot traffic without a license. Can you prove to me that's what traffic equates to? Okay, let's do it this way. We're going to open this up right here and we're going to go to Google. Where Google? Google, 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 Google. Let's get ready to G-O-O-G. G-O-O-G. What that spell? That spells OG. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Traffic. That ain't got no K in there. Hold on. Yes, it do. No, it don't. Yes, it do. Ladies and gentlemen, I just put in the word traffic, but I didn't ask it for a definition. So let's ask it for a definition. Google wants to. Yeah, you can find my location. There you go. That's my location. All right. Traffic. DEF. Definition. Everybody. All right. Vehicles moving on the road or public highway. A message or signal transmitted through a communications system. Deal or trade in something illegal. Uh-oh. Now we have traffic. Trafficking. Let's find out what the trafficking definition is. We should have did the law one. Everybody else would normally stop there. No, we don't care about no human trafficking. I didn't ask about human trafficking. I asked about the definition for trafficking. Trafficking definition, the practice of dealing or trading in a commodity or service, often an illegal one, drug trafficking. Ladies and gentlemen, all of you are involved in trafficking when you are traveling along the highway. An activity of buying or selling goods or people illegally. government has undertaken a massive drive against drug trafficking. So, how do you show that you are not engaged in commerce while traveling on the highway? Well, it's a presumption that you're engaged in commerce, but remember, you are not allowed to traffic in commerce without a license. Whoa, hold on. Coercion, in the case of, oh, that's sex trafficking. I wanted to pull up just trafficking by itself. Nope, that's all human trafficking. Come on now, give me another trafficking. That's still human. That's still human. Definition, that's another definition. Means people groomed and forced. No, that's slavery. I don't care about no slavery. No, that's trafficking in persons. That's human trafficking. Trafficking victims. No. This is giving me all the wrong trafficking statutes. Um, Oh, I know what we do. Watch this one. Hold on, y'all, because mine's going. COMMERCIAL commercial AIL commercial AIL commercial traffickers use force, fraud, coercion to subject victims to engage in. Why you guys? I said commercial trafficking, and it's still giving me human and sex trafficking because Google has a dirty mind. What a dirty mind you have, Google. I specifically said that, but it wants to play games. So let's get back to trafficking, ladies and gentlemen. Trafficking, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do commercial crimes, shall we? So we have 27 C Ephema Almama. You know what? I might have it wrong. Commercial crimes 2711. I thought, see, 7211. See, that's what I was doing. I was going to put 27, but it's 72. It's the number transposed. See, that's Lexlia. I need you guys to pay attention to what a commercial crime is. Many of you think you know. Many of you think you've read this before. Many of you think you understood this regulation. So this is the meaning of terms under the meaning of terms for 27 CFR. This is alcohol, tobacco, and firearm. Firearm, fireball. Okay, hold on. We got to get to the trafficking part. Commercial crimes. Where no, that's contraband. That's not commercial crimes. Where's the commercial crimes? Oh, I passed it up, y'all. I didn't mean to pass it up, but I passed it up. I gotta unpass it. You gonna unpass it? How you gonna unpass it? Like this? Commercial crimes. Pay attention. Any of the following types of crimes, federal or state, offenses against the revenue laws, trafficking, oh, I'm sorry, apologize, burglary, counterfeiting, forgery, kidnapping, larceny, robbery, illegal sale or possession of deadly weapons, prostitution, including soliciting, procuring, pandering, while white slaving, keeping a house of ill fame and like offenses, extortion, swindling, and gains, and attempting to commit, conspiring to commit, compounding any of the foregoing crimes. Addiction to narcotic drugs and use of marijuana will be treated as if such were a commercial crime. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to find that trafficking is an offense against the revenue laws. It is a commercial crime. When you are engaged in commerce, you are engaged in trafficking. You just have to understand it. Okay? Do your research. We're going to get back to this. Like I said, we're going to do a scenario that's going to specifically talk on the subject of trafficking while being engaged in commerce. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know that when the government enters into commercial business, it abandons its sovereign capacity and shall be treated as any other ordinary corporation? Well, that's my writing. That's my quoting from my memory of the statute. But this is what it actually says, and this is the case that you want to As a matter of fact, you can call it the McCulloch Doctrine because this was the case that it was first uttered. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull up this case. Come on. Copies? Where you at? I don't see it. Where did that? It did that. Hold on. CASE. Case tags. Switch to the tab. Switch to the tab. 1 second, y'all. I got 11 days left. 11 days left. 11 days left. We're not going to start no song singing 11 days left. Make a song out of that. I can get Kevin to make a song out of 11 days left. Don't y'all send me no songs about 11 days left. Don't y'all dare do it because I kick you in the muck. You don't even think about it. Sorry, people, don't do that. Because some of you are intelligent enough that you would do something like that, but I'm asking you not to, please. I don't need that. I was just making conversation. Okay? Thank you very much. Now, what I need you guys to do, the states have no power, by taxation or otherwise, to retard, impede, burden, or in any manner control the operation of constitutional laws enacted by Congress and to carry into effect the powers vested in the national government. See, the states can't interfere with that. Well, your right to travel is not a state given right. It is a right that is secured by the Constitution of the United States of America. That's the first thing you need to understand. That's what they're trying to tell y'all. But hold on, we ain't talking about that, okay? We got to go all the way down here because we started from the bottom, now we made it to the top. So we can go all the way down here. And eventually I'll listen to this case and see what the Supreme Court had to say because the other case wasn't a Supreme Court case. This is a Supreme Court case. So look, it even talks about revenue. Okay, the agency of state banks then in existence and the operations required for the revenue and endeavored to show that they had no application to the present number, extent, and situation of a state bank, relying only on those of a sound and unquestionable credit and permanency. He also contended that the experience of 5 years since the expiration of the old charter of the Bank of the United States has fully shown the competency of the state bank. Blah, 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 blah. We are needing to go to see. Oh, I put in commercial business. Now it's got 11 businesses here and commerce. Okay, carry on its business to make currency and to trade on its own credit. See, banks can trade on their own credit. Okay, that's what it's in here. If a state can no longer decide whether a trading association with independent powers and immunities shall plant itself in its territory, carry on its business, make currency and trade and credit, raising capital for individuals as fictitious as its own, if all of this must be granted, the third and great question in the cause present itself for consideration, that is, shall the association come there with rights of sovereignty paramount to the sovereignty of the state? Uh-oh. And with privileges possessed by no other person, corporation, or property in the state? In other words, can the bank and its branches thus established claim to be exempt from the ordinary and equal taxation of property as assessed by the state in which they are placed? They're doing commercial business, and no, they cannot be exempt because they're practicing commercial business. So we're going to go down to where it says commercial business. These are all the times it says business. That's number 6. Okay, I'm looking for commercial institution. It is a commercial institution. 1 second, people. Ah, commercial administrative character. Let's do. I think we're here. That's it. It doesn't say commercial business. Let's do abandon because they say it comes from here. So let's do. Sorry, went to the wrong spot. Let's do abandon. Let's see. Nope. Enter it without condescending to ask it leave, disregard perhaps the whole system and policy and overthrow the institutions and sacrifices its interests. Um, tolerated 23. Give me a second so I can find that, and then I'll come back and I'll let you guys know exactly where the statement is, because I'm interested. Okay, can't do it the way I want to do it. There we go. Have to just be patient. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it has been about 3 hours since I put the video on pause, or about, because after UPS came by, yes, UPS does do deliveries. After they came by, I have been, they delivered some external hard drives. Now, I thought, 16 terabytes worth of hard drive space, and I'm spending over $300, $175 each. I see it. I'm getting two of those things because they 16 terabytes. It turns out I read all of the reviews, went on YouTube, watched everybody, and it's a scam. I don't know what they're achieving, but I think they're taking the money and running. And it's a scam. One second. I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. Again, it's been a couple of hours since I put you guys on pause. I had UPS stop by. They delivered two hard drives, 16 terabytes each. However, the advertisement said they were external hard drives. They're not external. They're internal hard drives. Oh, lordy be, lordy be, lordy be. So I had to take that junk back. And so I'm sending it back to them, and I had to reorder. So yes, but I have to increase my storage space because I'm running out of storage space. Now there's a couple of things that we're going to talk about. Like I said, we're going to do our mock trial. Y'all ready for the mock trial? We're going to finish with the McCullough case. Remember, I told you guys I was going to come back and explain to you where it said the blah 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 blah. Well, pay attention. This is not it. This is just something I think y'all might find interesting. Whatever may be the influence of this fact of the case, well, it says the government of the Union, United States government, then whatever may be the influence of this fact on the case is emphatically and truly a government of the people. In form and in substance, it emanates from them. Its powers are granted by them. Who? The people. I keep trying to tell people this, but nobody wants to listen to me. See, in order to understand what's going on in this so called country, you have to go back to the foundation when they started it all. Congress never had the authority to do whatever they wanted. The people were the ones they went to find out what the people wanted. It had nothing to do with them voting their heart, their conscience. Please. In form and in substance, it emanates from them. Its powers are granted by them, the people, and are to be exercised directly on them for their benefit, not for their harassment. This government is acknowledged by all to be one of enumerated powers, the principles that it can exercise only the powers granted to it. Well, there's only one part of government that has legislative powers. They're called Congress, the legislature. No one else can make law. So there's no such thing as case law, ever. Let's continue. Would seem to be apparent. Would seem too apparent. Yes, because it's by the people, for the people, of the people. The people ain't saying this. The courts are actually documenting that. Okay, let's go on. I never read this case before. To have required to be enforced by all these arguments, which it enlightened France while it was depending before the people, found it necessary to urge that the principle is now universally admitted. In other words, it's a fact. Doesn't need to be said again and 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 again. You know what I'm saying? That's the book of records. Ain't got to be saying again and again. It's in again. It's in again. It's book. Okay. So we're gonna go right here. This is the next spot. Hold on. You're supposed to be colored. Man, I ain't colored. I was African. You ain't African. What I'm not seeing, ladies and gentlemen, and I really did walk away from this, it says the power of Congress to create and, of course, to continue the bank was the subject of the preceding part of this opinion and is no longer to be considered as questionable. That power of taxing it by the state may be exercised so as to destroy it is too obvious to be denied. But taxation is said to be absolute power, which acknowledges no other limit than those expressly prescribed in the Constitution. And like sovereign power of every other description, is entrusted to the discretion of those who use it. But the very terms of this argument admit that the sovereignty of the state in the Articles of Taxation itself is subordinate to and may be controlled by the Constitution of the United States. In other words, the states don't have any power to tax anybody beyond that of what Congress gives it. That's what they're saying. Now, hold on. More required. See, I'm looking for the commercial, and I know it's in these two sections right here because I can see it. If a corporation may be employed indiscriminately with other means to carry on or carry into execution the powers of government, no particular reason can be assigned for excluding the use of a bank if required for fiscal operations. To use one must be within the discretion of Congress, if it be an appropriate mode of executing the powers of government. This is what they were saying. This is where they get the sovereign capacity and waiving that sovereign capacity. Okay? And this is, you're always going to hear them talk about justifying the measures by its necessity, transcend perhaps its power to obtain advantage of a bank. And our own legislation attests to the universal conviction of the utility of this measure. In other words, the necessary and proper clause. The time has passed when it can be necessary to enter into any discussion in order to prove the instance of this instrument as a means of effective legislative objective of government. But it where it is a necessity less apparent, blah blah blah. So it is not saying it directly, it is saying it indirectly, but they said it directly in the Bank of Georgia versus Planners Bank. So the United States, the Bank of the United States versus Planners Bank of Georgia. They said it in that case as an 1824 case. You can find it anywhere whenever the United States enters into commercial business. But I do see where they're saying it here, but they're not saying it directly and using those words. Okay, we admit and we must admit that the powers of government are limited, that its limits are not to be transcended. But we think its sound construction of the Constitution must allow to the nation's legislator that discretion with respect to a means by which the powers it confers are to be carried into execution. Ladies and gentlemen, basically, when Congress issues a order, mandate, law, the legislative process, those who are under that power, those who fall within the jurisdiction of that power must follow it, is what they're saying. That's all that paragraph is saying, and that's exactly what we're going to be saying in court, believe it or not. Okay? All right. So, with that being said, we're going to get back to the discussion because we have and I really wanted to go lay down because I'm tired. I've been up since 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock this morning, and I ain't had much sleep at all last night. I was tossing and turning. I was tossing and turning all night. Oh, that was I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I had flashbacks. Okay, now let's go ahead and have our mock trial. Prepare your motions. Okay, we're going to go to traffic court. Anybody, you guys mind going to traffic court? We're going to take a trip to traffic court. Now, while we're going to traffic court, we need to understand something. While we're going to traffic court, you need to understand something. Let me say it again because you guys may not have heard. While we're going to traffic court, you need to understand something. The court that you'll be going into, this is what you're going to be dealing with. We're going to go backwards. We're not going to go forwards. We're going to keep going backwards till we get to the page. There we go. We got to get to the redress and then the next page, this one right here, and we're going to go to this page. When you go to the Supreme Court of the United States, in front of that building is a woman statue, a statue of a woman. She is a religious symbol, a religious goddess that they worship. Do not let them play the word game with you that they are not worshiping her, because they are worshiping her. She is a goddess, and they say that she is the personification of the justice they are administering. They're administering justice for her. We're going to have to double this page again. Give me 1 second. Got to show you that model of that attorney general's office, because the attorney general, why would they have a model? Why would they have a model? He who serves the GOODDESS. Oh, did I put OOD? No, we can't say goodess. Ooh-wee. There's only one goodess. It can't be a goodess. It got to be a goddess. All right. I just put model because I want to see famous Artemis, the Greek goddess of justice, often personified as Lady Justice or Lady Diana. The motto associated with her is Alamorum del Gloom, glorified, okay, which translates into for the greater glory of God. Excuse me, for the greater glory of what God? They ain't talking about Jehovah, people. She's the daughter of one of the demigods. Lady Justice originates from the personification of justice in ancient Rome. That is a lie. Greece existed before Rome, who is the equivalent of the Greek goddess Dyke. So it doesn't originate from the personification of justice. It originates from the personification of what they said is justice back in Mesopotamia, which is ancient Greece. You read the article, you'll see that that's what it will say, but it has nothing to do with Rome. It was a religious symbol in Rome, and it was Artemis. Okay. Lady Justice is based on the Greek goddess Themis, Artemis, honored as clear-sighted, and the Roman goddess Justicia. Okay, justice, honored by representing the virtues of justice, wisdom, farsightedness, and all of that stuff. They got that from Scripture because it talks about God's attributes: love, justice, power, and wisdom. Far-sighted wisdom. That's why it refers to him at oftentimes as an eagle, or associating the personification of an eagle. What is an eagle known for? It's vision. Technically, they try to associate with eagles wisdom. Now, there we go. All right. Model of DOJ. DOG, dog. DOG. He who serves the goddess justice. I didn't write this. The motto of the United States Department of Justice is Quae pro domina justitia sequitur. He who serves the goddess justice. So if you do not think that they're worshiping a false god, then take this motto with you into court and bring up Lady Justice that's standing in front of the Supreme Court and have them put on the record officially that they are not serving a foreign god, because that's mixing religion with government. And government and religion are not supposed to mix. The Department of Justice is a part of government. It's part of the United States government. The phrase is reference to Lady Justice, the personification of justice originating from ancient Rome art. That's a lie. As we just talked about, she originates from Mesopotamia, Greek mythology. Mesopotamia is another word for Greece. Okay, the land that Alexander the Great was from was called Mesopotamia. Became Greece later. Lady Justice is often depicted as wearing a blindfold and holding a scale and a sword, symbolizing fairness, impartiality, and finality. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not what it symbolizes. She holds the sword because she was considered a mighty hunter, a warrior. That's right, that's why she holds the sword. And she holds the scales because she weighed people's lives in the balance. Go ahead, do your research. And she wasn't blindfolded, ladies and gentlemen. She was clear sighted. She could see what she was doing. Hold her accountable. And it says the Wisconsin Department of Justice also uses this motto. Wisconsin? Ain't nobody from Wisconsin. Who cares? Who gives up? I'm sorry about you Wisconsiners. I've been to Wisconsin, and I promise you it was one of the worst experiences of my life. I ain't never seen so much prejudice on this planet in my life up until that time. But I tell you what, they ain't all prejudice in Wisconsin. As I told people, Wisconsin, Green Bay. Everybody who saw me on the street, everybody who saw me on the street asked me if I played on the football team. That's right, Green Bay, Wisconsin said if I played on the football team because there wasn't too many of my kinds out there, and they all played on the football team. Ain't that interesting? I joke with you not about that. That was my experience in Wisconsin. Actually got arrested because I was speaking with a white woman. And all I was doing was asking her if she would take the dog that I had in the hotel that the hotel said I needed to get rid of because it was keeping it hadn't been weaned, so it was whining all the time. And so they told me I needed to get rid of it, and I just asked the secretary of the office, Snyder National Bulk. I used to work for Snyder National Bulk. And they actually arrested me because I spoke with her. Believe it or not. Literally arrested me. It was, pay attention to this, persons of non-color who came to my aid, who helped me in that situation. So they ain't all that way. But that was my experience in Wisconsin. And that was at a time in my life where I just had the operation, so I wasn't in a fighting mood. But yeah, those individuals. Well, anyway, enough about that. We're going to let that one go, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, it says that this motto is still used by this department right here, but I don't see the motto on the website. Okay, this is the Wisconsin Department of Justice, but I don't see the motto. The motto? No, tomato. No, the motto. I don't see the motto on this website. I'm looking for he who serves the God is justice. Department of Justice, go here. Service of process. And where's he who serves the God is justice? But wait a minute. You don't need Wisconsin's Department of Justice to prove that they serve the God as justice. All you got to do is take the statement into court with you. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on, people. Lord have mercy. Let's do that for you. I want you to see it. That's the, go ahead and pause the video. This is it right here. I want y'all to see what it says. The motto of the United States Department of Justice is qua pro domini domination justita or justicia. But there's no C, but tia. So justicia. Sequitur. Which means he who sequitur serves the goddess dominia. Pro dominia. Or pro domina, but Qua pro domina, goddess Justia or Justitia. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it straight. They are worshiping a false god. All of the attorneys are under the Attorney General's office. This is their motto. The Supreme Court has the so-called Lady Justice, the goddess, in front of their building. But no, we're not. No, 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 no. Hold on. We're going to get to our mock trial in a minute, but y'all got to understand this. What's going on in that courtroom? And can nobody come up and say, "Oh, wait, hold on a minute. That's that fake news stuff." You can't sit up here and throw that fake news at me because I ain't dealing with no fake news. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get rid of this because we already got the model down. Y'all done already seen it. Let's talk about Lady Justice, the origin of Lady Justice. Lady Justice is supposedly the personification. But hold on. This figure is the same as the goddess Justice or Themis or Dyke. Oh, mama, I remember that Dyke. Okay? Or Matt. Hold on. Equivalent, equal to the Greek goddess. So it didn't originate in Rome, and it is not the personification of these things. It is the personification of her. Famous Artemis. I believe that's Acts the 19th chapter for those of you who understand anything about scripture. This is what's in front of the Supreme Court. But wait, 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 wait. Don't just stop there. We can't just stop there. Hold on. We got to expand this. Expansion. What's your mansion? Now, what I got to do is I got to duplicate this because let's see. Will it go there? No, it didn't. So we'll go back here in a minute. I got to open, and I don't want Lady Diana to go nowhere. So we got to do it this way. Hold on, because I because of this keyboard. See, if I had done this before, it wouldn't. Come on, give me my. There you go. So I didn't want to lose the pages I went to because, like I said, I already did this video before, and I don't want to do it again. So we can go to Wikipedia. Mama, she's wicked. She's a dyke. We're going to talk about the dyke, Lady Justice. Okay, and the Court of Appeals judge. See, Court of Appeals judge. Didn't say appeals with an S. Appeal judge or Lady Justice. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't write this. Watch this. I'm gonna click. Yeah, I can click on this one. I can click on this one. The Court of Appeal Judge, England and Wales. Lady Justice, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Lady Justice. Okay. Pay attention. The Crown Court or other courts of the tribunal. Our Lord or Lady Justice of Appeal is the second highest level of judge in the courts of England and Wales. Wait a minute. England even does the same thing with this Lady Justice? Man, this Lady Justice must be impotent since everybody is sitting up here, the Lord Justice of Appeals or Lady Justice of Appeal. Ladies and gentlemen, who do you think they're appealing to? They're appealing to a god, a fake god, a pagan god. This is what you are up against in court. Yeah. All the other stuff is going on, but this is the root. This is the foundation. In order for you to understand anything, you have to go to the foundation, which is why we're at the foundation, people. We're gonna get to the mock trial in a second, but I just need those. There are people out there that don't know this. Okay? By the way, most of this people didn't tell me. I found this out on my own. Now I want you to understand something so y'all get this. See this image right here? This is that hoe. I mean, this is Diana. But guess where this is, y'all? Some of y'all can read ahead, but guess where she is? Wait, hold on. Let me show y'all. She's in the Court of Final Appeal, Hong Kong. Wait a minute. She's in Hong Kong? She's in Hong Kong. So we found that she's in England. Now she's in Hong Kong. Where else is she? Do you want to know where else she happens to be? Hold on. We're gonna. Yeah, we'll go here. TikTok. Mommy, where he going? Oh, he going right there, honey. Oh, okay. Well, is he gonna stop anytime soon? I don't know. I don't think so. He never stops. You know that, right? He just keeps going and going like that bunny. Um, but anyway, you just shut up and listen to him because he got something he want to show y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is. However, I forgot what I clicked on before. Oh, no, I know exactly what I clicked on before. So we can get rid of this now. I just wanted to show y'all where she was. Oh, I shouldn't have clicked off because it talked about her being a dyke. See? Demas and dyke. Art Demas. So let's go forward. The origins of Lady Justice. Lady Justice is Lady Diana. This says Lady Justice. She's not Lady Diana. Lady Justice is a personification of justice, but she's not Lady Diana. Lady Diana is Wonder Woman. DC animated universe. That's who Lady Diana is. She's Wonder Woman. Really? Wait, hold on. Watch this. TikTok. We don't want Gabiru, but we'll do Gibaru. Gibaru, 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 Gibaru. Okay, Gibaru. And then we're gonna go with GOOGLE. And let's get rid of this so we can just have Google and we'll just search Google because Gibaru is a search engine, but it may not give me what I want. Oh, you know, it is going to give me what I want because you see, it talks about the Lady of Justice statue. So let's see if we can find some more Lady of Justice statue. Let's see. Now we're gonna go to no, we definitely got to go to Google because it'll take us to man, it'll take us all over the place, and I ain't got time for going all over the place. So let's see what Google gives us. Now remember, I didn't put Princess Diana, which is Lady Diana, which is Diana from Wonder Woman. Yeah, why do you think she's called that? She's the goddess of justice. That's why she was part of the Justice League. Oh, you don't believe me? Well, let's find out about Diana. Let's see if they're going to tell us about Diana. Let's see. Lady Justice is based on the Greek goddess Themis, honored as a clear-sighted Roman goddess Justitia, honored as representing the virtues, blah, blah, blah. This is, but you're not going to find anything. So let's do this one right here because I'm interested in this because y'all need to see this, okay? Y'all needs to see this because y'all not going to believe it. Look, 28 best things Wonder Woman does in the Justice League. Well, let's find out what she do in the Justice League. On a scale of Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League falls somewhere in the middle. Well, we ain't looking for that. She stands on top of the Lady Justice statue in London. No, she doesn't stand on top of the Lady Justice symbol in London. Lady Diana and Lady Diana. Meet your mama. I didn't do that, ladies and gentlemen. This is how she enters the movie. Is standing on top of Lady Diana. She's called Lady Diana for a reason. Let's see. Don't care. Who's lasso a man in the Justice League, but thrilling to see her back. No, we don't care about that. No, we don't care about no dodging, no bullets. And we don't care nothing about that, but we do care about Lady Diana and the what you call it, the dyke that she is supposed to be representative of. Nope, can't do this. This right here ain't giving me everything, but just wanted to let y'all see who Lady Diana is. Now, let's get this to clear up because we need to get General Services Administration profile and picture. No, we don't care about this Lady Justice outside Martin Luther King Federal Building in courthouse. There's a Lady Justice there. Did that in 1994. That's a shame. Oh, by the way, that's why she was called Princess Diana. Now remember, Diana, Wonder Woman, is a princess. She's the daughter of the queen. Prince Charles had to marry symbolism. Lady Diana. Now, you guys know they practice religious rites and all of that within that. That's why we have, what's the name of one of those things? Dang it, Bohemian Grove and all that other junk. Okay. Just that way. Well, let's do this. I saw this astrology thing. And so, sexy tattoos! Because that's she's a hoe. But I can't do all of this, but you notice how sword, no blindfold, okay? There are so many people on this planet who worships that particular hoe. And I'm not saying anything ill of her. She's a hoe. And when I say that, I mean that you need to understand the whole premise of Themis, Artemis, Lady Diana, Lady Justice, Esther or Istar. Those are all the names she goes by. She is a sex goddess. That's why you have eggs during Easter. It's because of her. She is the goddess of sex, fertility. That's what she is. That's why you see most of the ancient statues of her has her with 12, 15, 20 breastises, because she's a hoe. But she's a proud hoe. Okay? No, she ain't from Nava. All right. So that some of you know that. You should know that. If some of you guys, if you could only know, after the capture of the Justice League, Diana traveled to their universe with the other Justice Lords. Do you know that all the people of the Justice League are gods? Really? You didn't know that? Well, when you get a chance, go and read articles like this that let you know Justice Lord Batman, Justice Lord Superman, Justice Lord Green Lantern. They're all gods. I didn't say that. It's not what I did. But you guys need to understand when you walk into these courts what you're dealing with. Now, you don't just get to go out there and shout and scream, make me want to shout. You don't get to go up there and say, hey, y'all practicing religion here, ain't y'all? Okay, that's not how it works. You won't get nowhere with that. Now, look, there are some people who will say, man, what he telling y'all, that ain't right. No, he can't prove any of that. And so those are the ignorant people. Don't listen to them, because those are the ones who would not have seen the motto for the Department of Justice: he who serves the goddess justice. Why are they serving the goddess justice? Watch this. Lady Justice is Diana. Now, I specifically put that there purposely. Lady Justice is Diana, who is the equivalent of the Greek goddess Dyke. Okay, images of Lady Justice is Diana, and it shows Wonder Woman. Justice Lord Diana fought for her Justice League counterpart, knocking him out, blah, 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 blah. She almost killed the Justice League's Batman. Well, in the cartoon, she does kill him. Anyway, uh, ladies and gentlemen, this is just so you know. Just so you know that it ain't just me. I'm not creating this stuff, I'm not making it up. But you can't go into court saying this, because the rest of the people don't know this, so you will be made to look like you are crazy, like you need to go have your minds examined. So you bring up the motto of the Attorney General. You bring up the statute and its Mesopotamian history. And then you say these are pagan symbols, ancient religious symbols. And in this country, there is a fundamental principle of separation of church and state. So what's going on here? Oh, I'm sorry. Wonder Woman is Diana Prince, or Princess Diana. Isn't that who Charles married? Isn't that interesting? But what none of you all ever understood is she never loved that man. She said it, and all of her actions documented that. That was, if it could be called anything else, it has to be called what it was: an arranged marriage. It was symbolism, people. The king, which is the son of a god, that's what they believe, that the king is the son of a god, marries the queen's daughter, a princess, Princess Diana. Ain't that interesting? All you got to do is go ahead and read the writing that was already there from the very beginning. Artwork, Themis, goddess of justice. So now that you all know, and I'm going to click on this one because this is one that I clicked on earlier, and I think it might do what I am needing to explain. So it'll be 1 second, y'alls. Yes, this is what I needed to click on. Ladies and gentlemen, what I needs to show y'all right here, you see this one right here? She was a hunter. That's why she carries a sword. Okay? That's her carrying her skill and her sword and all of that stuff. Now, we're going to get through all of here. I think this is, nope, this is not it. See, the ones that I want to show you is all the different courts with their Lady Goddess Justice standing in front of it all around the world. From Peru, all the courts have a statue of Diana. Do your research, look it up. You'll see that she's standing in front of quite a few different court buildings throughout the United States. You already saw Hong Kong. Why is she in front of the Hong Kong court? Because they worship pagan gods. What? That she's not a so-called Christian god. There's only quote unquote one Christian so-called god, but she is a pagan god. So of course other nations are going to do that. Justica. Dyke with judgment sword and scale. She is a dyke. I didn't say she was a dyke. They said she was a dyke. That's her name. Say my name, say my name. Okay? That's her name. Okay. I just thought I'd get that point across. Well, you got it across, all right, homie. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So now we know that Lady Justice and Diana, Princess Diana, are the same. Lady Diana is Wonder Woman, but she's also Princess Diana, which is the same Princess Diana that Charles married, but she's still, pay attention, Lady Justice. And she is a Grecian goddess, a pagan god. The word pagan basically meant people of the nations. Go ahead, do your research. And this right here, no, Lady Justice is not Diana. Lady Diana, that's a lie. But that's what they say. But you do your research and you follow your research, you will see exactly who Lady Diana was. And it's another word for that. I mean, that woman, that dyke. I mean, that goddess Justice. Okay, now we got to go forward one more again. Lady Justice is Diana, and this is the one that said it again. But I went to one of these after I did that, and it actually showed it. But I ain't gonna take up more of your time. I done already done said it and said it again. Okay, what does Lady Justice represent? Nobody cares. So we're gonna skip all of this and we're gonna go to the next one. This is the last one. Who is Diana? Do they say she's the Princess of Wales? Really? Really? They ask just simply who is Diana? This ain't the only Diana. You got Diana Ross. You got Well, no, she's Diane, but you got all kind of Dianas. Well, that's the most popular one that people ask about. No, that ain't. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, when pulling up this information, and it ain't gonna show me what I need to show. When pulling up this information, it was only designed to help you understand something that we're about to discuss. We're about to get into the conversation. The first thing we took you to is when the government enters commercial business. What you need to understand in the courtroom that you are being brought to court on one thing. So we will talk about that right now. This is 27. Charlie Franco Robert 72.11. And when we do 27 CFR 7211, it's going to take us, and we're always going to go to Cornell Law first. The reason why we go to Cornell Law first is because it has links if we choose to click on them. Mama, there's a link right there. Oh, that one looks hot. I wouldn't touch that one, Mama. That looks too hot. Yeah. Anyway, hot link if y'all didn't get it. Commercial crimes. Any one of the following crimes. Any one of the following. Any of the following crimes. Any of the following types of crimes. Any negative determiner means it's all inclusive. Any of the following types of crimes, whether singly or collectively, whether state or federal, offenses against the revenue laws. Pay attention to this right here. Everybody who is ever arrested is arrested for this right here. Offenses against the revenue law. Oh, you didn't know? Hold on, let me show it to you. We're going to talk about traffic today, okay? I just put people in traffic. Let's find out what we get for people in traffic. Traffic people. No, we don't want traffic people. I said people in traffic. Why did I put people in traffic? Because traffic includes pedestrians. Okay? But I can't do people in traffic because you see they're talking about individuals who are handicapped or disabled. That's not, and we're definitely not talking about human trafficking. I put people involved in trafficking because when people engage in trafficking, they are engaged in commerce. Okay? We don't want human trafficking. And see, it said human. I said people. I did not say human. And it did that earlier today. So give me 1 second. We're going to do this. Then we're going to do legal. So we put trafficking legal definition. Now, the reason why we want the legal definition for trafficking, what is trafficking? See the results. No, that's not a dictionary. Not a dictionary I want to go to. I want the dictionary. Definition of human trafficking definition. Merriam-Webster. Hey, Merriam, could you get over here and help us understand this? Trafficking. What's the definition? Merriam, I don't see a definition. Whoa, hold on. Whoa. They didn't give us a definition. Oh, wait. That's because me. That's me. I did that. What? Nobody asked you about no human? One, two, three. Hey, get out of here. Traffic. Vehicles, pedestrians, ships, planes moving along a route. Ladies and gentlemen, you tell me that you're not in one of these capacities when a person gets arrested. Vehicles, pedestrians, ships, planes moving along a route. Everybody's always moving along a route. You're always engaged in commerce. Sorry, trafficking. But when they're using it, they're saying you're engaged in business. How do we know? Oh, sorry, you guys missed it? Dang it. I thought I showed it to you. Hold on. We're going to go back to 27 CFR 7211. Offenses against the revenue laws. See, Congress has the right to regulate commerce. So they just said what a commerce crime is. And now they're regulating it. Any of the following types of crimes, federal or state, Congress has just regulated it. Oh, this is under CFR 72 CFR, so 27 72 11 of CFR. Code of Federal Regulations. They are regulating commerce. Oh, Mama, it's starting to make sense now. But you haven't heard all of it. Everybody who's in jail are always accused of these two things: attempting to commit or conspiring to commit. Don't take my word for it. Go and look at every single charging instrument and see if the person is not charged with attempting to do this or conspiring to do that. Go ahead. I dare you to find a single case where a person is not charged in any semblance of that, because you will not find it. That's how they get jurisdiction. Well, okay, fine. That's how they get jurisdiction. How do we take jurisdiction back from them? No, no, it's not a matter of taking. See, they've already done the taking. So make them prove they had a right to take. Oh, you guys still are not getting it. See this word right here? Commerce, commercial. Okay, now we're gonna do this one time, y'all, but y'all need to pay attention. When the government enters into commercial business, it abandons its sovereign capacity and is to be treated like any other ordinary corporation. Congress may have the authority to regulate commerce, but Congress does not have the authority to engage in any commercial business and still remain Congress. That's why they did it in a regulation. Oh, but hold on. Hold on. Y'all need to pay attention. Ladies and gentlemen, 12 CFR 7211, Congress didn't write this, Joe. Go ahead. I dare you. You can go all through all this, the Federal Registry and all this stuff. Congress didn't write this. This is the Federal Registry. Congress did not write this. This only applies to federal employees. Shh, don't say that. They won't understand. What? They won't understand this only applies to federal employees. No, hey, stop. Don't tell them that. But it's the Code of Federal Regulations. It only applies to federal employees. Oh, see, you're going to get yourself in trouble. Don't be saying that out loud. You're going to have people going in court and saying that, and they're going to look stupid when they say that. You got to show them how to bring that information out. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're not like you. They can't just walk up there and tell them, what y'all think y'all doing? You can't conduct commercial business like this. Well, where'd you get the authority to conduct commercial business under the moniker of government? You lost that. No, the government cannot engage themselves in commerce. Sorry, they can't. It doesn't matter what the Supreme Court said. Supreme Court doesn't make law. That is a maximum law. Government cannot engage in commercial business. When they do so, they abandon their sovereign capacity. Supreme Court has no jurisdiction over that definition. That's a maxim. That means that it's etched in stone. Don't need no sticks. That's how you start fires. It's etched in stone. Ladies and gentlemen, understand what a maxim is. The Supreme Court, nor Congress, nor the President can touch a maxim. They don't have the authority to change the common law. See, maxims are common law. Now, many of you don't understand. So if you look up common law today, you'll see it's supposed to be the case sites of the court. And that is so interesting. In the Seventh Amendment of the Constitution for the United States of America, the Seventh Amendment says, under the rules of common law. Ladies and gentlemen, that was done before the courts were created. There were no cases of the United States because they had just formed a nation. So how could they go off of the common law? Well, oh, we adopted the common law of England. No, you didn't. Hold on. Let's do this real quick. We're going to go to perplexity. We're going to leave this alone because I've been wanting to show that to you, and I showed it to you. Whenever the government engages in commercial business, the common law of the colonies. Anybody ever heard of that? We're gonna switch to the expanded version. We can expand it a little bit more in detail here, and that's what we're going to do. All right. The common law of the colony was based on English common law, but it was adopted to fit the local, social, and economic conditions of each colony. The three main colonies' legal traditions were Virginia, New England, and Maryland. Virginia sought to pay its investors by extracting maximum labor from local inhabitants, while England established its initial legal approaches on English common law. That's a lie. You see, the reason why they would never have structured it on, pay attention, English common law, and we're not talking about the law of the courts, because the courts were the king's court. The people never would have stood for bringing over the king's tyrannical laws to this land. Pay attention. They fled England, the original so-called pilgrims. They fled, so they never would have adopted that junk. In all of these American colonies, English common law provided a backdrop, but on the ground, social forces gave legislation preeminence in American law that it had lacked in England. Ladies and gentlemen, let me help y'all out. When you look at junk like this, whoo-wee. Before there was a constitution, before there was a Northwest Ordinance, before there was a confederacy, the people who came over here to inhabit, there were no laws. They created the basic principles that governed their little communities. See, that's called the common law. Why? Because it was the common law among that community. It had nothing to do with cases in England. Now, could it have referenced a case or two in England? Possibly. But it had more so to do with the Bible, because that's what they brought with them. Why do you think the Salem witch trials got out of hand? Because that's what they were following. Why do you think nobody corrected it? Nobody did anything. Why do you think they allowed slavery? Because they were claiming when Paul said, those of you who are slaves, remain slaves. Those of you who are free, remain free. So they were going off of that. All of you slaves, be obedient to your masters. That's what they were going. They were going off of scripture. They wasn't going off of no English common law. But see, I can't explain that to you guys because you guys won't listen to me. You'll listen to these crackheads who claim that they know more. And this is not about who knows more than who. This is about what does the facts say. Okay. Now I put common law of the colonies. Now I put the common right of the colonies for those that were carried out through that colony. Let's see what we get this time. The common law of the colony was based on the customs that were carried on throughout the colony. This was sanctioned by royal. Ain't no way in the world it was sanctioned by England. England didn't control the colonies until later. When the people first got over here, remember, they needed the Indians to give them homestead. So there was no king's law. Okay. That British Parliament and thinking they had control, that came later. After they realized there were natural resources to be exploited. Don't take my word for it. Go ahead and do your research. But again, please understand the common law had nothing to do with England. The colonies had their own customs and laws that they carried out. That was the common law. The common law for that area, the common law for that jurisdiction, the common law for that venue is what was the common law. Had nothing to do with England's case laws. Again, there'll be people who want to argue this. Even the court will try to argue this. But what they can't do is go back to those court cases that were being held by the colonies. You all seen the westerns, you've all seen the movies where each jurisdiction had their own laws. It's the same thing today. That's why each state are common law states, including Louisiana, because those states had laws and rules and regulations before this nation became a nation, before Congress started putting in all of that other junk. That's why the states had their own autonomy. They got to do whatever they wanted to because they were sovereign. That's why it's against the law to do one thing in one state, but not against the law to do the same thing in another state. Because that's called their common law. Pay attention to the word common law, common amongst the community. Okay, the Supreme Court said the same thing when it talked about the what you call it. They talked about the people. Hold on. Sorry, I keep messing up. Supreme Court said that the people mean the common community. The Supreme Court stated that the people in the Constitution refer to those persons who are part of the national community or the community at large. Again, common law deals with the common people, the common people. This is before Dred Scott and Sanford and all of that junk. But it is in Dred Scott that they mentioned that we, the people of the United States, means the common people. Now, those of you who didn't understand that, you'll find that Thomas Clark Nelson highlights this at verbatim to make sure everybody understands that. So pay attention. The general term of the people of the United States, pay attention. It doesn't mean the group of elected members. It never did. If you want to find that out, go and read what the Supreme Court had to say, what the people of the United States refers to. It is the national community, national, whole nation. So when you see the phrase the people, it's not referring to a person, it's referring to the group, the common community. Okay. Whew. That was almost, I believe that's over 40 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, of getting the foundation. Before we can start the mock trial, we have to have the foundation. So give me a second. I gotta see what time it is, y'all. Because what happens is that's an hour and 17 minutes of giving you guys a foundation. Why? Because if you don't know what arena you're in, you are never going to win. You're never going to get anywhere. You're never going to get any headway. People are in jail today because they didn't know how to respond. So now it's time for the mock trial. 1 hour 18 minutes is your mark. Get on your mark. We're going to begin. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the judge will be entering the courtroom in the next couple of minutes. When the judge enters, you will remain seated and you will remain silent during the proceedings. If you need to talk, you'll have to get up and go outside. You are hereby to turn off all electronic equipment, your cell phones, your earpiece, everything has to be turned off during the proceedings. Now, if you fail to turn it off and it goes off during the court, I will have to confiscate that from you. All right, if you have any questions, you'll have to hold your questions until you're called upon. All right, so let's go over the list. Roberts. Here, sir. Johnson. Here, sir. Mary. Here, sir. 5 minutes later. Okay, and Sedgwick. Here, sir. All right, you all will remain seated until your name is called. Okay? All right, here we go. All rise. The Honorable Judge Jetwig is approaching the bench. You may be seated. Okay, good morning. Clerk, what do we have on the docket for today? Your Honor, the first case that we have is Zedwig versus Munchow, City of Orange. Okay, Zedwig versus the City of Orange. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, Let me go ahead and have you all stand. All right, and I need you to raise your right hand, and I need you to repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me. All right, you may be seated. Okay, now what you didn't know what just happened there is they just made everything you said under oath, but you haven't returned the favor. You haven't told the judge, wait a minute, you mean to tell me I'm under oath the same as you're under oath? Shh, don't tell nobody. We're going to get to that in a minute. What you also didn't get to see is the indoctrination. There's a sleight of hand going on here. Because what the clerk does is she announces you're appearing before the court, meaning that you are submitting yourself to the court's jurisdiction. There was a time period where people say, do not go through the galley. Why do you think the court has a galley? The swinging doors? Do not go through the galley doors because they're conducting commerce, commercial business, merchant trial. Okay, you're going into the sea of commerce when you're in court, but they're also practicing religion. That's why the judge wears black. Everybody knows that black stands for evil. Come on now. Oh, them black people out there, they're just as evil as they can be. No, black is a symbolism for darkness, not light. Light is a symbolism for good. Judges, you guys remember the TV series Scandal? How Mrs. I think what was her name, Polk or something? Well, anyway, um, she wore the white hat, called themselves the White Hats, because everybody knows the Lone Ranger, a black man, wore a white hat. Yeah, that's right. The Lone Ranger, the original Lone Ranger, was a black man. Sorry. Sorry, it's just the truth. And he wore a white hat. Okay. White stood for purity. Go ahead. Everywhere you go, every place on the planet, white stands for purity. So why do they wear black? Oh, it's tradition. Where did tradition start from? Religion. I mean, their goddess that they worship. They're warlocks. They're priests of their goddess. That's right. Many of you have heard that the courts and the attorneys are priests or warlocks of their God. I need to find out what. Oh, it didn't even type. Okay, hold on. AI system listening to us, knowing exactly a warlock is a male practitioner of witchcraft. It's not just a male. I don't know what a female is talking about. How you pronounce that? I mean, how you write that or what that is. But they are seekers of knowledge hidden in the multiverse and from parts of the supernatural being to gain power. The term is also referred to as a 17th century warlock who escaped to the present day and is pursued by the witch hunter of 1989 film Warlock. In general, Warlock is thought to be in the league with dark powers, wearing black, and have supernatural means of harming others, committing seances. So again, you have the court summoning people to court. You summons the dead. You summons the dead. And they say, all rise. Excuse me. Where do they get this all rise from? Well, it's customarily a symbol of respect. Yeah, just like the goddess of justice is supposed to personify this, when in reality it has its origins there. So where's the origins of all rise? I rest your case. Remember, everyone is deemed to be civilly dead. Hold on, let's do that right here. Civilly dead is a legal term that refers to the loss of all or almost all civil rights by a person due to conviction of a felony or due to an act by the state. What did the state do to take away your rights? Didn't they suspend the Constitution and suspend habeas corpus? Isn't that what the president did when he declared a national emergency, or what Lincoln did when he declared a national emergency? Ain't that interesting, huh? just taking away people's rights left and right. In some cases, such as in Rhode Island, this law has been deemed unconstitutional. Of course, it's unconstitutional, but they don't follow the Constitution. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. A person, when they're subjected to involuntary servitude as a result of a crime, they're saying they lose all their rights. No, they don't. They just lose servitude. See, they can be held in servitude. It doesn't mean they lose all of their rights. But nobody ever paid attention to the wording of the statute. They just paid attention to the court saying that they could do that and Congress saying they could do that. There's no law allowing them to do that. They're just doing it and doing it well. Okay? They're just doing it and people are sitting back. So we're going to continue with the trial because Mrs. Edwig versus the County of Orange, they have an interesting matter. But Mr. Zedwig he's the last one to be notified by the deputy, the bailiff, that he's there, and he's the first one to be called. They ain't even going in alphabetical order. So Mr. Zedwig is there. Your Honor, yes, I'm Johnson, Attorney Johnson, Robert Johnson, and I am a district attorney for the county of Orange. And we are here today because we have the charge against Mr. Zedwig that he was driving on a suspended license. He was operating a motor vehicle with no insurance and no proper registration. The tags were expired. And that is a violation of Code Section 1421, 1428, and 1416, for which we have brought forth 3 charges against him, carrying a maximum jail time of, oh, I'm sorry, yes, county jail, Your Honor, of 3 years. And they can be run concurrently or consecutively. That is up to Your Honor if he is deemed or found guilty. And we plan on producing evidence before this court, and we've already produced the documentation and put it on the record of this court of the defendant's actions and or inactions and of his liability and culpability to the alleged crime that he's been charged with this day. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Zedwig, the prosecution has alleged some very serious charges against you. Would you like a moment to speak to the court and explain whether or not these charges are legitimately brought against you or not? No, I wouldn't, Your Honor. Excuse me? You don't want to defend yourself? No. Why would I defend myself? I, I'm. I don't think you understand what's going on here, sir. Oh no, I understand exactly what's going on. So the first thing I need to do before we proceed, before you continue any further, is I definitely have to notify this court that I have not submitted to your jurisdiction. I'm here out of coercion. You summoned my person to these proceedings. And because of out of threat and fear, I'm here. But I need to understand what's going on here because it's obvious that I don't understand what's happening here. And by law, I have a right to understand what's taking place here. Well, if you don't understand legal matters, you can by all means uh, I'll give you time to go hire an attorney. Oh no no no, this has nothing to do with legal matters. I do need to talk about the law, but as far as legal matters, I'm not here to discuss legal matters, but I am here to discuss the law. Uh, Apparently there's some code 14-21 and 28 and 16 and 45 and a billion, some code, some regulation, some ordinance, some statute. Excuse me, where's the jurisdiction? Sir, we've had those arguments. Excuse me, I'm not bringing an argument, I'm asking a question. Please don't do that. Well, no, no, you will not come in this court. You finished? I will come in this courtroom and ask a question. Or are you going to tell me that there is a law against asking questions? It was a legitimate question. I put it before this court. Are you refusing to answer my lawful question before this court? Well, then I do hereby petition for redress of grievance because I have a right to ask questions and I have a right to have my questions answered with facts and conclusions of law. Now, before we go on, before you start raising your voice again, I do want you to know that I am recording these proceedings. What, you're saying I don't have a right to record these proceedings? Well, I obviously can't do shorthand. I can't write this stuff down. I can't remember everything that's being said here. Oh, I can order a copy of the transcripts from the stenographer? Well, why would I do that? When I can have a copy of everything that was said, the demeanor in which it was said, and I can introduce my record on appeal. So no, I'm going to record these proceedings to preserve my arguments for appeal. And I have to correct myself. I said arguments. I'm not here to argue. I'm just here to ask questions so that I can better understand what's going on because I believe that someone is making an attack on my person and my estate. And so I just need to have a better understanding. So, my next question, since you didn't answer the first one, and so I'm going to take your failure to answer as if you have no jurisdiction and let that be noted for the record. So I'm placing you on judicial notice that you didn't answer the question, and because you had a duty to respond and you failed to respond, then you're in default respecting that question. I know I don't want to hear it. It's too late. You had an opportunity. You're not trying to answer the question now. You're in default. Okay, just look, my turn. Okay, please stop. I'm speaking now. You had your chance. You asked me a question. I am answering it. You haven't answered my question, but I'm definitely going to answer yours. So my next question is, as an officer of the court, and he's an officer of the court, and excuse me, I need you to step away from me. I'm starting to feel threatened by your presence next to me. You're not standing next to anybody else. I need you to tell this person to move away from me. There is no reason for him to be standing next to me. He's got a gun. He's trying to intimidate me. I need for him to move away. And please understand, you bet not touch my phone. I'm still recording this so that everything is documented, so that the record has all of the tones, the arguments, the yelling, the screaming, the hisses and the hasen, the stuff that the stenographer doesn't document. So either you're going to tell him to move away, or I'm going to bring forth a charge of duress during these proceedings. So that's up to you. Oh, man, if you want to play, I'll play. Okay, as I was saying, he's an officer of the court. You're an officer of the court. The prosecutor is an officer of the court. The clerks are officers of the court. So because all of you are officers of the court, the United States Congress has said that all officers of government must take an oath of office. Give me 1 second, people. All officers of government must take an oath of office. All officers of the United States government must take an oath of office. This includes members of Congress, federal employees, judges, political appointees, and the president and vice president. The oath typically requires them to swear or affirm that they will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies. So, back to our proceeding. As an officer of the court, you took an oath of office. You're required to take an oath of office. They are required to take an oath of office. And just because you sat up there and reminded us we were under oath, I feel compelled to remind you to take judicial notice that you are under oath. So you lie to me or you fail to respond to a question while having a duty to respond, it will be constituted as an attempt to defraud the court. And I will bring forth a claim against you for contempt of court. And I will file that with the Attorney General immediately and ask the Attorney General to recuse himself because he's an officer of this very same court and there being a conflict of interest and asking for special counsel to be appointed. Now, I'm placing this on the record so that we have a firm record that legal, no, lawful, and the law, that's what I'm going to be dealing with, if you don't mind. Now, while you all deal with legal, please understand I don't recognize legal. Now, it's not because I'm better than you or greater than you. It's not because I am one of those people who don't want to abide by the law, because please understand, the law is what I respect. Now, I do not even dare to take my words and try to use them to your benefit. I respect the law. I will follow the law. So I'm asking about those codes. Where is it on the record that those codes are part of the legislative process? Now, for those people who are here who don't understand what the legislative process is, that's where Congress, the legislature, enacted it into law. Those codes are not written by Congress. They're not part of the legislative process. Congress didn't write them. Congress didn't speak them. Congress didn't authorize them, because the legislative process is spelled out in the Constitution, and that junk did not go through the Constitution, so it cannot be used. And I'm definitely asking for a dismissal, and we'll get to whether or not the case is dismissed later. But I'm definitely asking for a dismissal due to failure of process, because before you can bring a charge against somebody for violating a law, they must be made aware of the law and must be given an opportunity to defend against that. And I asked you, where did that junk come from? And what is the jurisdiction? And where did you get the authority to enforce something that is not law? And you remain silent. Now, this thing about driving and somebody claiming that somebody was without a license. I did not know that I needed a license to travel. The only jurisdiction government has upon a person to order them to have a license for doing a right that they have that is secured by the Constitution, and I do have the right to travel wherever I choose in this country. I have the right to put one foot in front of the other so long as I don't infringe upon another person's right or another person's property, which is their right to property. And I wasn't infringing, and no one made me aware that I was trespassing. I believe that when this man decided to interfere with my pursuit of happiness, that he was claiming that I was trespassing, and he had a right to stop me in the means of trespassing. Well, before a person can be charged with any type of trespassing, they must be made aware that they are trespassing, and at no time did he identify my person as trespassing. And then he tried to get me to testify against myself. Now, how in the world could he, carrying a gun at the time, get me to, oh, no, 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 I'm not offering testimony right now. I'm asking a question. So let me finish and stop interrupting me. How in the world could, I said, let me finish. You asked me a question. I am stating things on the record because I need to have it clear as to what my understanding is, since you're claiming that you have jurisdiction. So I will continue. And if you don't want me to continue, you can ask me to leave, because I don't have a problem leaving. Oh, no, nobody's doing anything in absentia. See, if they have a right to speak and you have a right to speak, you had better believe I'm going to exercise my right to speak. So, as I said, how is it possible that he could stand next to me with a gun and tell me that he needed me to produce evidence against myself and not tell me that he was conducting a criminal investigation? If he is investigating me, I have a right to know, because the Supreme Court has made it quite clear that before someone can be deprived of any right, they must be made aware. And he did not tell me he was doing a criminal investigation and that the information that I gave him would be used against me. He took my driver's license, he took my insurance, and he took the registration, and then he proceeded to use that against me. That's called compellation, compelling me to testify against myself, which is against the law. It is a violation of the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America, for which this particular state and all of its officers have taken an oath to uphold. So again, I ask you, where did you get your jurisdiction? Ladies and gentlemen, I am who I am. You all will not be able to talk to the court that way. But what you are supposed to get is an understanding of the conversation you are to have. If you've noticed, what I've done is I've taken from the court all of their standing, all of their arguments, all of their ignorance. I've asked them question after question after question, which is founded in law, which they cannot respond to. And if they really play with me, I have a Dun and Bradstreet account. I'll pull the record showing that they are a private corporation, showing that they engage in commerce. And I will put that on the record. Now remember, that case ain't going nowhere. What are they going to do? Press forward? Well, it's okay. I've already put my objections on the record. I've already asked all the questions on the record. I have a recording of me asking these questions. They don't get to just pass it off. No, facts and conclusions of law is how you respond to me. Don't just sit up here and explain it. Show me the law that you're relying upon. Do you understand? Ladies and gentlemen, the people who do this right get so many cases dismissed. You hear about it all the time. It's not so much the words you use, it's how you ask and phrase your questions. It's not you arguing with them. It's literally, say this. I'm saying, are you telling me I don't have the right to ask this question? Could you tell me where that law is that says that I've lost the right to ask questions in this arena? Because I'd love to see it, because I don't remember waiving it. Do you have proof that I've waived that right knowingly, intentionally, and voluntarily? Because I don't have that proof. And I certainly must be aware of it in order for me to have waived it. I cannot waive a right without knowingly, intentionally, and consciously doing so. That has already been, oh man, that's been well established. Oh, no, 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 no. You see, you talking again. No, I don't care if you're getting upset. You're talking again and you're not showing law. I don't want you to explain it. I want you to present the law. You are a student of law. And if you're up here supposedly upholding the law, and if this is supposed to be a so-called court of law, then use the law. That's where you're supposed to be getting your authority from. That's your jurisdiction. But apparently you're not relying on any law. You're relying on something called a statute or a code or an ordinance, revised or otherwise. That's not law. That's not part of the legislative process. Wait, wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on a minute. No, excuse me. Hold on a minute. Y'all punking me. This is gonna be on video. We're gonna be on TV or something. No, y'all punk. Oh man, y'all got me. Oh God, I thought this was real. Oh God, because this couldn't be real the way y'all acting. Oh God, y'all, ooh, y'all that took the whole judicial system and turned it into a joke. Oh man, oh man, I ain't never been punked, but man, y'all doing a good job. Oh man, I almost believe this fool standing up next to me trying to intimidate me. Yeah, that's how ludicrous. The same way you're trying to make it appear that I'm out of my mind is how I'm looking at you, because you must be out of your mind claiming to enforce the law when nothing you have said, nothing you are founding any of your junk on is law. As long as it's not part of the legislative process, it's not law in this country. And license? I don't have a license. He just told you that license doesn't exist. So I have not asked for your services. No, I'm going to exercise my rights free of your interference. And as long as I don't cause harm to another person in this country, then I am free as one of the people of the common community to do everything that every other person of the common community does. Now, Congress, yes, they have the right to regulate commerce, but not private commerce. That's right. I was, as he's documented, minding my own private business in my own private business, which he has no jurisdiction to interfere with. Yeah, private business, because I am a private person minding my own private business. He doesn't have jurisdiction, nor do you have jurisdiction over my private business, which did not infringe upon anybody's rights. And don't you dare say the state's rights, because I'm part of those rights. I'm part of the state. So to sin against the state is to sin against myself, and I ain't sinned against myself, and there's no evidence to the contrary. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're hearing from me is me demonstrating exactly what the conversation would be. Now that hearing is going to be postponed. So let me tell you what happens when they postpone a hearing. Excuse me. What day you said the next hearing is? Okay, wait. I got a question. You have a salary. You get paid for being here, right? And they get paid for being here. Okay. Now I want you to know. Now I'm not going to give you no fee assessment or anything. No. I'm going to file a claim against you for the debt. See, you want to take out of my time because you want to spend 15 minutes here and talk about this, and you want to wait a couple of months and spend 15 more minutes and keep wasting my time because this is your process. Well, I'm going to charge you for that. And I'm going to charge you for the delay, and I'm going to assess a penalty against you. No, I know you're not going to pay it. It's okay. You could think that I don't have the right to do this. And look, IRS tax topic 453. Go and read it. IRS tax topic 453. This is my right. So when I charge you, I'm gonna send you a notification, and then I'm gonna forgive you the debt. You'll just be stuck with the tax consequences. And I'll do the same thing for the court, because I'm gonna charge you, the court, and whoever else's name I can get here, and I'm gonna forgive you the debt, and you'll be stuck with the tax consequences. Don't worry about it. IRS doesn't have any control of this. This is the law. Yeah, this is the law. Congress put it in an act. Yeah, they did it when they did the bankruptcy in 1933. Oh, you didn't know about that? It's called the Amendment to the Trading with the Enemy Act, done March 9, 1933, pages 78 through 83 of the Federal Congressional Record of Congress. The President signed a proclamation 2039 authorizing that. So yes, that's where I received the right to charge you for wasting my time. The same as you charge people for wasting the court's time. Well, if the court's time can be wasted, so could mine. You want to delay so that you can prepare to respond to my questions when you should already know the answer. And if you needed a delay so that you could prepare a response, then there's an objection, because you were already supposed to be prepared. You're the custodian of record. You're supposed to already have that information. Wait, hold on. You didn't know? You didn't know that you're the custodian of record for these proceedings. Please, the clerk ain't the custodian of record. You are. You're the head honcho. You're under Robert's rules. You are the one in charge of these proceedings. So you are the custodian of record, which makes you liable. And because you didn't have the record ready, and since this is supposed to be a court of record, then I get to charge you for that. Don't worry about it. Supreme Court has already made the decision. AT&T, what? You didn't know? FTC versus AT&T? Supreme Court already said what the custodian of record must have. You're the custodian of record for these proceedings. For those of you who don't understand what a custodian of record is, do your research. It's called the collective entity. Do your research as to what the Supreme Court said the custodian record. Oh, I put it's supposed to be TH and I put OT, HT. So, okay, but let's do this so that we get that for you guys so that you know. Now, I go to Perplexity because Perplexity is going to give us just a straight answer. Um, collective entity. Collective entity is a group of individuals or organizations that act together in concert, such as employees, organizations, unions, blah, blah, blah. Collective entity doctrine, pay attention, collective entity doctrine holds that such entities have no Fifth Amendment privilege and are objects of moral concern. Collective entity philosophy is the ability to form a body from the energies and bodies of innumerable amounts of different individual beings. Collective entity doctrine means the custodian of record is the one responsible, and he doesn't have a Fifth Amendment protection. They don't have a right against self incrimination, nor do they have a right not to testify. The judge is the custodian of record. Watch this. No, yeah, custodian of record. No, what I was thinking about is because this video is taking a little bit longer than I anticipated, I'm going to have to put notations on the Eon channel for people to come and take a look at it who want to know about this. The collective entity doctrine states that the businesses and their records custodians can never resist government issued subpoenas on the basis of a Fifth Amendment privilege. This is because the privilege applies only to natural individuals and protects only private papers, while record custodians of a collective entity, such as agents, i.e., the judge, okay, this was affirmed in Randy Braswell versus United States. That's one of the cases. Then you got AT&T versus FTC, or FTC versus AT&T. So Braswell was one of the cases, okay, but it's called the collective entity doctrine. And because the judge is an agent of the court and is the keeper of records for those proceedings, that's who the records keeper is. It's not the clerk of the court. The clerk of the court is just the secretary. The judge is the one responsible for the record of the court. That's why it is a court of record, not a clerk of record. Yeah, I know some people are going to get some very good ideas about this, but this has been the case for quite some time. Okay, Braswell, I think it's 2012. Okay, I'm just let's click there. Braswell, I believe, is 2012, and guess what? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Oh, 1988. Sorry, you're right. It is 1988. My bad. It's 1988 because that's the year of the case. 2012 is when I looked it up. Hey, my memory ain't all that bad, but it ain't all that good. And let's see if we can pull up. No, because it's not going to be here because AT&T. Let's do that. Let's do Control F, and we're going to do ENTITY. It's going to probably do custodian of record, but we're going to do collective entity doctrine. That's what I need to copy. Copy, 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 copy. And then we're going to go up here. We're going to do Google. And when we do Google, we're going to put right here, right here, right here, right here. No thanks. Get out of here. Collective entity doctrine. And we're going to do FTC v ATT. Okay, see that? Oh, Federal Trade Commission. I think it's Federal Communications, FCC versus ATT. I think it's FCC. Okay, FCC versus AT&T. Okay, because this I went over did all this collective entity thing in 2012. Okay, and I do believe this case was 2012 and 2011, but the decision, yes, 2012. So that's why this is the one of the main cases of collective entity doctrine. Okay, FCC versus AT&T, and it talked about Braswell, and we went and we looked up Braswell. Okay, because this is what we do. All right. So understand the judge is the keeper of records, and again, that makes the judge a collective entity because he represents the court as a whole, and because they represent the court as a whole, they fall under the collective entity doctrine. They have no Fifth Amendment protections. They have no immunity protections. It's an amazing world, a whole new world. Okay, so just thought I'd bring that to your attention. If you would like to get a copy of the Braswell case and the FCC versus AT&T, you can go to satcom911.com/PDFs in all capital letters, and you will find a copy. Just type in the name. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to bring an end to this episode. And again, we're going to call it the Redress series. Okay, and traffic court. So we'll call it the redress series traffic court. And from 1 hour, 18 minutes, to 1 hour 55 is where you will find that information on this video. There will be a reference and link on the Eon channel, but these videos from now on will be on the Redress channel. Have a good day, everybody. Goodbye.